Going on, Jake here with Uncommon EDC, and today we're going to be doing a quick unboxing of the Springfield Armory Echelon. I live in California, so this is the California roster version, meaning that both the firearm itself and the contents of the package may be a little bit different than if you were to purchase this anywhere else. But if you're curious what comes in the California version, definitely stay tuned. This is the original 4.5 configuration. They did recently introduce 4 other configurations to the California roster, but as far as I understand it, they won't be available till the end of the year, maybe even early next year, so I kept my original pre-order. One other caveat before we get into it is that although I just picked this up this morning, I'm impatient and wanted to get it down to the range, so I already unboxed this, shot about 200 rounds through it, cleaned everything back up, and tried to package it as best I could how it was originally packaged so we can have this unboxing. But if anything looks like it's been fired, that's because it has. Now, again, this is going to be just a quick unboxing. We'll probably do more videos on this once we get an optic mounted and a light on it, but wanted to just kind of show what's in the box since there's not a lot of that information out there yet. So, comes in a cardboard box. I do wish it came in a hard case, but the reality is that a majority of firearms nowadays come in cardboard boxes. It does have nice presentation though, so we get that opened up, and you can see it does include a soft case at the very least. Has the Springfield Armory logo up front. It is locking, no grab handle or anything, which I think would have been a nice addition just to make it a little bit more range ready. It is padded though, so gonna serve the main function of just protecting that pistol. Full clamshell style opening, so we can get this fully opened up and you'll be able to see that entire interior right away. And we'll grab this Echelon and show it off for just a second before setting it off to the side so we can continue with the pouch. But obviously this will be the star of the show. So again, we're gonna set that off to the side and take a look at our pouch. No real interior organization outside this single slot. That does have a soft liner inside, so if you want to put some accessories in there or just use it to store documents, you have that option. But no like elastic to store your magazines or anything like that, which I think would have also been a nice touch to make this a little bit more usable. I think this is mainly just going to be for storage, and I'll probably use other pistol bags for actually transporting it to the range. Does come with the chamber flag, but it wasn't installed when I got it, so I don't know if it comes in there and the shop removed it or if they just don't put them in there at all and it's just an inclusion in there. But either way, it wasn't installed when I picked this up, so I didn't put it back in for the video either. Now we can set that off to the side. One other note is the pouch itself is made in China, where our firearm was obviously made in Croatia. And so getting our Echelon front and center, beautiful pistol. I love the design of this. And the cool thing about it is most of the design elements that I like so much aesthetically are really designed for function and utility, and they just happen to also look good. That goes really into the slide with these serrations that look ultra aggressive, but they're incredibly well thought out. So if we look at our front serrations, usually in order to have that, our slide would be a little bit on the thicker side, but you can see these serrations are in this trench, which gives you tons of traction, but that trench also makes it perfect for those press checks. We also have serrations in the back leading into that wing, so really anywhere you're grabbing the slide to rack it, you're going to be able to get a lot of traction, a lot of grip on that slide, making it really easy to do, and it also looks great. The same goes with the texturing. Basically anywhere a finger might touch has some texturing. On our mag release, obviously all throughout our grip, we have different back straps that you can change out, and the frame itself is also replaceable thanks to that COG chassis system. And so there's a small, medium, and large frame, and then small, medium, and large back straps for each of them, giving you 9 different configurations you can put this in. And then there's aftermarket like Icarus out there selling metal frames, so it gives you a ton of options. We have that grip all over the handle. We have it even on the base plate of our magazine, our trigger guard. One funny spot that I thought that we had some texturing is on our recoil spring here, which I don't know why you would need texturing there, but it's there as well. The firearm itself is also fully ambidextrous, so I'm right-handed, as are probably 90% of the people in the world. But a lot of my family is left-handed, and I often go shooting with them, and all of my other handguns are really set up for righties only, making it a little bit awkward for them. But this one has the left and right hand both mag release and slide release here, and you really don't notice them with your right hand, so they're there, they're non-intrusive for you, but when I hand this off to a lefty, they'll have no problem kind of manipulating it as well. In fact, it'll be a lot easier since they don't have to contend with just kind of the right hand only configurations that I'm used to. One thing I haven't shown is that this is unloaded, but it most definitely is unloaded, and so we have nothing in the chamber, nothing in the magazine. So we we can pull that trigger. So we have a couple different safeties here. No actual manual safety, which I don't really need. I don't want a manual safety, but we have the trigger safety here. So if you don't press on that center trigger safety, you're not able to actually pull the trigger. One of the other safeties they have in place for California specifically is that mag disconnect. So with this magazine installed, we can pull that trigger, and without it, we can still pull the trigger, but you'll hear that the striker doesn't fire. And so nothing happens. And so that's a little bit annoying. Obviously, if you drop that magazine early, you still have one in the chamber, you can't fire it. I know a lot of people plan to remove that. I haven't really looked into how easy or difficult that is to remove, but it does have the mag disconnect specifically on the California version. We also have 10-round magazines specifically for the California version. And one thing you'll notice is it has this extension, so it's the right length. That's not going to be present on the standard capacity that you get in other states. So we can put that back in, and then we can take a look at our sights. We have that U back sight, which I really like, and then the tritium front sight with the high vis around it. Really nice and easy to get on your sights very quickly, very visible in low light and high light. My range is actually pretty dark, so I really appreciate the kind of high vis nature of that front sight. And then probably the coolest feature of this is gonna be the vis system. And so it comes optic ready for over 30 different optics. And so that means you don't need to use any sort of plate, saving you money on buying a plate, but also meaning that it's gonna co-witness with all of those different optics. There are still some optics out there that use a different footprint that you will need a plate, but you should be able to find one of really tons and hundreds of different optics that use those 30 different footprints that you can go ahead and use without buying any plate for it. So really I love that feature. And then we are going to get an optic for this as well as a light and have those mounted before the next video on this one. But overall, great looking pistol. One other thing I wanted to show off was that loaded chamber indicator. And so that's another feature, so-called feature of California roster. So you can see loaded when out. Very non-intrusive. I like how they did it with this one. So we'll go ahead and drop that magazine. I have another one with the snap cap preloaded. Also worth looking at. This is what your standard capacity magazines will look like. This one's still blocked at 10, but you can see it doesn't have the extension because I ordered these online. These are OEM, just capped at 10 or pinned at 10. And so we do have that snap cap in there. And this is not a loaded magazine indicator, so putting that magazine in there doesn't do anything at all. You can see still not out. But if we rack that slide now, we have it loaded, and you can see that tiny sliver of red. It's very subtle. I like how they did their loaded chamber indicator. I don't have a problem with it. I know people are planning on blacking it out, maybe with just a Sharpie, or even removing it entirely, but it's very non-obtrusive in my opinion, so have no problem whatsoever with that. We'll move on from our Echelon to what else is in the box. Go ahead and get our snap cap out of the way. Toss that to the side. We'll move our pouch. So we get some warranty information and stuff like that in here, so I'm not going to open that up, but it does come with the Springfield Armory window decal. And this is for the vis system. So you can see pin sets for each of those different footprints. There's a bunch of different bags in here with pins and screws for all of those different footprints. And again, it works with over 30 different footprints. So very, very versatile. And then this accessory section does fold out here at the bottom, so we can go ahead and open that up as well. Inside we get one additional magazine, obviously going to be 10 rounds again for California magazines. In the other ones, I think you get a 17 round and maybe a 20 round if I'm not mistaken. And then the 17 also comes with the extension to turn it into a 20 round magazine. So obviously we're not getting any of that in the California version. We do get the speed loader as well. Nice enough speed loader, it works. I tried it out for one magazine, but I usually default to the Upalula, and so mine's pink, so it's nice and high vis and hopefully won't get stolen at the range. But these just work really well. They're super intuitive and fast and a little bit easier than the ones that typically come with your handguns. We also get two different back straps. So the one that should be installed should be the medium, and you can see very small lettering. Well, hopefully you can see, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. There's an L right here and an S right here for small and large. I mentioned with that chassis system, you can swap out the frame. So they sell a small, medium, and large frame, and then you can use them each with the small, medium, and large back straps. So you have 9 different configurations you can set those up in, and you can see these also have this little punch tool integrated with them, and so that's also there to hold it in place, but it doubles as a punch. And then last but not least, we have our lock, which I didn't open. We get one of these with all of our handguns, but I just toss mine in a safe. I don't actually lock the trigger or anything like that. with locks, and I don't use these chamber locks either. So that's everything that comes in here. Let me know what you think, or if you have any questions down in the comments. I do plan on making some additional content around this. Like I said, I plan on mounting an optic and a light. Let me know if you have suggestions. I think I'm going to go with the HoloSun SC 320 for our light, and then the HoloSun PID. I just like the way they look with them. But if you have other suggestions, let me know. Definitely still kind of open to suggestions. I probably won't make a choice for a few weeks. I'll probably get this to about 1,000 rounds before I actually make any modifications to it. But again, let me know if you have any questions down in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, subscribing, checking out some other content. All helps the channel out a ton, and I hope you have a great one. Take care.